Hi, hope everybody's okay. Right, as promised, I'm back to answer the question, what does ascending mean? What does ascension mean? We've also got a few more questions as well that have come in. So I'll either try and do those on separate videos either today or tomorrow. One is asking how do we stop bringing back the cycles that we got rid of yesterday, and how we keep releasing cycles, and how can we ensure that they don't come back. And the other one is how can we show up in our lives, how can we shine our light to get the maximum benefit for ourselves and for everybody else in our environment. So they're two questions that I'll be looking at a little bit later on today if I get time, or if not tomorrow. So today, what is ascension? So in a nutshell, ascension means to raise, to work upwards. So what we're doing is we're moving from a lower energetic state to a higher energetic vibrational state. So as most of you know, we're all energy and we all vibrate. Like with most things, there will be slower vibrations when the energy is denser and heavier. And then as we ascend or, travel on our path, do our own self-development, our vibrations rise, the energy becomes much lighter and brighter, and we can actually hold a huge amount of energy. So although we think of ascension as this, this end goal, it isn't. It's just actually a series of goals as we, or series of states as we go through life. So if you're feeling incredibly depressed at the moment, or down, or sluggish, then this is a very dense energy. It's very base energy and doesn't vibrate at a really high rate. If you then work on yourself and you then come out of your depression and you become happier, that is ascension, because you've ascended from a lower, denser vibrational rate to a happier, higher vibrational rate. So you've actually ascended. And the thing with the ascension process as well is some people, you can determine how much you actually want to ascend, because for some people just coming out of depression and having sort of a good baseline is all that they want and all that they need, and they're not interested in developing things any further. Now, the other reason that we ascend and we have the ascension, and why it's important for us to raise our vibrations, is because the higher vibrational rate we vibrate at, the more light we can let in. So pure universal light is a really high vibrational energy. And for us as a vessel, we're a 3D, we're living in the 3D, we're a 3D vessel, we're very dense. Our physical body is incredibly dense, which is why we're going through a series of these gateways, because we're also adjusting our own physical body to be able to vibrate at a higher rate, which means we can hold more of the light. And this is also another reason why people experience ascension symptoms. And I know I've been looking on the internet a little bit and to sort of see the general vibe of what is going on with a lot of people. And I know people are feeling that they're suffering with these ascension symptoms. But it's not something that you necessarily need to suffer with. And sometimes we can hook into these, we can identify with the symptoms, but we can also hook into the drama of it and the roles of it. So, over the years, I've heard lots of people saying, that they have such a big cross to bear because they're an empath, and that they feel the miseries and the woes of the world. This is kind of a little bit unnecessary and incredibly dramatic. When we, most of us have got empathetic skills. And when we first start doing this, yes, it can be really off-putting. We can have problems with supermarkets. But the thing is this is just the first process when we're not used to what we're doing and we don't have a grip on it. And when we work on ourselves and bring our vibrations up higher, then we're able to let this energy from other people pass through us, it's another sense, it gives us another idea of what they're going through, what is happening with them. It's not something that we need to own, and it certainly isn't something that we need to become very dramatic and sort of slightly martyr-like in the fact of, I process for the world, but I chose to be in service, so that is my, my purpose. It really isn't. It's none of our purposes to suffer. Suffering is, will lower our vibrations, just like singing, dancing, laughing raises our vibrations. So there's so much that we can do if we want to ascend. Again, the ascension process isn't something that necessarily happens automatically for us. It is something that we control, and we can control the levels that we're interested in ascending to. So ascension, in a nutshell, is basically raising your vibrational signature. And we do that with very high, and it's also the other thing that we need to do with ascension is, I mean, I know if you guys know all about the chakras, is once we get to the heart energy and we then come over the heart energy, this is when we start vibrating at a much, much higher rate. And we are, because it's very heart-centered energy, and heart-centered energy is very high vibrational. So this is what our mission is actually, or our purpose or our role, is to work on our inner stuff, to work on our very dense, negative 3D energy, looking at balancing it, releasing it, doing a lot more things that are high vibrational, and basically making this vessel of ours vibrate at the highest rate that we can, because then we can hold a lot more light. So that's Ascension in a nutshell. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.